Hi everyone, it's November 10, 2021, and you're watching the Awesome10X channel for the Philippine market updates. Let's begin. Okay, so let's first take a look at the Philippine market. Your PSEI is 7,375, down 65 points. Let's take a look at the moves, no? So the top traded name today is actually SGP, which is an IPO. Well, actually, it's a follow-on offering. Don't worry about it. Some people are actually skeptical. Why is it down 96%? It's not. It's actually up 5% from the follow-on offering price of 12 pesos. So at 12.6, take note that SGP or Synergy Grid IPO is not really an IPO. It's a secondary, it's a follow-on offering. That's why there are existing primary shareholders who sold the shares so that the public can take part on this energy grid. It's a national energy grid. It's actually a partner of Meralco. And so most of the transmission networks are passing through the SGP. So what we are seeing here is 2.65 billion pesos value traded. That's actually up 5%, or it is a very successful follow-on offering. The people who subscribed on the SGP actually made money, and they didn't lose 96%. No, so don't worry about this like previous and last. Those are not the actual charts. No, for SGP. Okay, so let's also see the top traded name, Mondenisen. Breached 17, got rejected 17, but still managed to close 16.88, still strong. Your ASIN is still trading above 12. Some profit taking in your banks like BPI is trading at 91.85. Your Luciatan Group is $10. All day IPO is above the 60-cent IPO, but it's trading at 71 cents, still up 20% actually from the IPO price. Your Metro Bank is trading at $52, above 50. You have PLDT and Globe, very strong here at about 16.70, and Globe at 3.5. You could see that the market is very much paying the price for the valuation of Globe's Gcash in that 3.5 area, because it will be a spin-off, I don't know, whenever, maybe next year or next few years, but the market is paying the Globe premium due to the Gcash fintech inside. Min Financial got a $2 billion valuation from private equity, which is coming from Warburg Pincus, who actually also was the venture capitalist who invested in Converge. Converge is also trading right now at $34 before Converge went IPO at 16.8. So obviously the market is paying a premium in current levels. No, let's take a look at the most top traded. You can see the top traded names are mostly index names and a few of the IPOs or follow-on offerings. Most active. Okay, let's take a look. Most active. Other than SGP, Monde, traded names are particular, so strong movement on the telecom still. So really the year is punctuated with a lot of all-time highs on your telecom sector like Globe, PLDT catching up. So it's really more of a digital transformation story, as well as the renewable energy. You could see that Avoitis Power, Ascend, those are the part and parcel of an economy growing. So you have the demand on energy, and that energy necessary is passing through the likes of your SGP, Synergy Grid, and Meralco. Let's take a look at any losers. And okay, top losers. Okay, don't worry about this. The SGP here isn't really a loser. It's actually up. And okay, we are seeing LTG down 5%. Ano pa ba? Okay, what's this? BPI, it's down 4%, but actually it's still above 90. So it's still just a profit-taking zone. On your top gainers with volume. Top gainers with volume is still Globe. Globe, which is telecom. Okay, let's take a look at your index. Your index is actually trading at 7.4, so it's actually very high. And you are seeing some profit taking amidst this 9 billion market values of turnovers. No, lots of people are profit taking. Could see Luciatan Group, BPI, Converge. So some selling front there. Mostly 77 advancers, 116 decliners. What you're seeing here is demand is still strong in the Philippine market, but you also have profit taking. I'd say that the market is more on the consolidation zone now because it is very high at 7.3. Let's read through it. PLDT 1670, Aboitiz Equity Ventures 52, Globe 35, Metrobank 52, Bloomberry nearing 8, Meralco is nearing 300, Aboitiz Power 32.7, Ayala Land 38 bucks. It's already trading near 40, so you have a lot of selling pressure at 40 bucks, guys. MPI trading at 4 bucks, Pure Gold trading at about 43, incoming demand from holiday sales, Wilcon 30 bucks, Asen 12, Security Bank 124, Robinson's Land nearing 19, Robinson's Retail nearing 70 pesos, Mega World 3.3, AGI 11, URC 134, San Miguel 117, JG Summit 61, GT Cap 570, Converge 34, Luciatan Group 10, ICT 193. Jollibee is back on the pandemic resistance area, no, of 254. So it's like a reopening play that the market truly paid the premium for. SM Prime 36, BDO 130, Ayala Corp 884, SM 975, BPI 92. To be honest, in the market in the Philippines, I wouldn't say anything here is cheap. If there's still anything cheap, it's just really a matter of values in the eye of the beholder. It's like telling me, okay, maybe the banks are still cheap relative to the other banking stocks. But example, for Metro Bank to rally from 50 to 55 or 60, it's more of just the recognition that if the world and the Philippines is recovering, the banks and the financials will go up hand in hand. So yeah, you could argue like banks like Metro Bank, BDO, BPI, they probably still have some runway, another 5 to 10%. But I would also argue that we are not in the value picking zone. The market is more on the upper end already. So it's normal for people to be profit taking as well. Let's go through some news. Let's take a look on the movements, no. So worldwide, we have been seeing elementary school kids in the Philippines getting vaccinated. So I would say that the Philippines has really opened up a lot of moves, no. A lot of people are happy. Let's take a look on our favorite tourism place. Your Cebu Pacific rally to as high as 50 pesos. Your Macro Asia rally to as high as 6.5 initially after a $5 peso move, no. So take a look at these types of movements, no. You're seeing Macro Asia believers, those who believe in the airline sector, they're seeing this recovery on the reopening. So we are seeing that movement, but still resistance here at about 8 pesos, 8, 9 pesos on your Macro Asia for the last few years. So that is still going to be your resistance for Macro Asia. Let's take a look at Cebu Pacific as well. CEB is, so airports are getting a lot of action, brimming again. It's not just the Philippines, also worldwide. No, you've got United Airlines, Delta Airlines, China Eastern Airlines, China Southern Airlines, even Lufthansa in Europe. So you're seeing actually the movement of the worldwide recovery. It's just juxtaposed with the consumers really happily traveling with the same thing happening on your Airbnbs and Expedias, your Booking.com. So that's happening. You've got this 51 resistance, but the market after a year, no, after 1.5, almost 2 years already, I'd suggest that the market is looking forward for a rally back to 70. And we've been saying that again and again, that Cebu Pacific at 39, 40, 41, eventually it will recover to 70, no? So you just need catalysts. So one of the catalysts would be looser restrictions. So if you are still buying Cebu Pacific at this 48 level, that is a momentum play, no? Kasi the value players would have bought 40 peso, 41, 43, 44 below, but any price from 44 to 48, that is already a buy on momentum. And I'd say that airlines can still be added. If you have it at 38 and you still have cash on the side, if you want to buy a CEB at 45, 48, somewhere here, it's still a buy in my view. What would happen for Macro Asia? Well, yeah, the same thing happening. There will be a lot of buyers here about 5.5 below if you have an entry. Now, what can we say? We said that commodities, no? Commodities are actually bullish, no? So I'll be very careful, no? Even if Modenisen is rising, take note, mga 18, you will still have that inflationary concern, and you will have to have some selling pressure at 18 above. Be careful then with Jollibee. It is, of course, strong at 250. If you look at this, actually, it's more on the resistance areas na rin. Actually, 240 to 290, any rallies here, ingat lang. You still have some headwinds. it's not out of the woods. You've got inflation, you've got commodity boom, you've got labor wages growth. So yun, there are some headwinds coming into the restaurant sector. Na this reopening might have some headwinds. Jollibee, look at that. Resistance heavy yan. Don't assume a momentum move. Shakey's Pizza at about $10. Even if pizza is introducing may milk tea chain na siya, right? Sorry, the milk tea chain is Max's. But tama ba? Yeah. Sino may-ari ng peri-peri? The Shakey's Pizza may-ari nun. Yeah, so Shakey's Pizza, peri-peri chicken, and they have this milk tea shop. Tama ba? Tama ba yung basa ko? Shakey's Pizza, may milk tea. They opened, yeah, that one. The R&B milk tea is now in Philippines. One of Singapore's leading milk tea brands has finally arrived in the Philippines. Actually, so they own Shakey's, Peri-Peri, and a milk tea brand in Singapore, and they're introducing it in the Philippines. Ito siya, milk tea with brown sugar pearls. They're just trying to introduce more to the Filipinos, but to be honest, it has no material impact in sales. So when it comes to betting on restaurants, assume, if you're gonna ask me, assume a fragile recovery. Don't assume momentum moves yan. But that said, Shakey's Pizza has a lot of buyers at 750. You can clearly see that. So on dips, there's a buyer. Pero yun, malaki na rin yung ginalaw but no volume. You'll notice no volume on pizza. The restaurant recovery is being played out by some people through DNL. And you're seeing that volume jump on DNL above 8.5. No? Why? Because DNL Industries is oleo fats. And if restaurants recover, they'll be using a lot of oil. And that oil that you use for cooking and all those ingredients are coming from DNL. So a recovery play on that move. Nonetheless, so I think the fund managers are betting on DNL since the beginning. You'll notice tulog siya for a while. This is almost how many months na rin. Look at the year to date, it's been doing nothing, particularly flat from 660 to 860, only breaking above 8.5, 8.6 recently. So from a breakout standpoint, if you're playing momentum, DNL and Cebu Pacific are more of a momentum play. It's not a value play by any sense. I wouldn't think it's a value play. If you were a value investor, you would have been buying 8 below for DNL and you were just waiting for a recovery. But is the momentum on these recovery plays correct? Mahirap masabi. It's all about people's hopes and expectations. I am of the view that the promise of the vaccination is gonna help us recover within the year. Na okay na yan, people will go back to the restaurants again, people will go out again. And if that were the case, obviously, ako, personal bet ko, go for Cebu Pacific. But yun, so, and okay, let's just tell you, from a traveling perspective, even if DWC does not have any volume here, if you are making a bet somewhere here about 2 pesos that it can rally to 3 or 4, I think it is a safe bet. But the problem is the downside is small, but the upside is a question mark. Why is it uncertain? Because for the last few months, wala tayong naririnig na updates from Discovery World. Wala tayong nakukuhang news updates on whether they will be doing a joint venture. Will they try to sell shares for a joint venture development? Wala pa tayong naririnig about that. So all we know is, basta may hawak ang travel tourism play and you just don't know if they will, so yun yung problem. When you're betting on mga DWC or let's say BHI, these are very small companies, no? Those are nagkaroon ng uptick before si BHI. You can see nag-move yan from about 2.3 centavos to as high as 14 cents because of I think the talks was BHI was gonna get acquired, the resorts, no? Yung TG, ano yun? Ano yung TG Friday Resort ba yun? Friday Resorts in Boracay. So I don't know what happened there. But I just know like yung mga narratives na ganon, guys. Pero I'm not saying that it's a buy. Parang more like if you want the institutional buy, syempre they'll just go straight to simple lang, very simple lang. Mga shopping malls like an SM Prime, retail centers yon, diba? Like Robinson's Retail. They'll SSI is a retail play, forgot to say. Yeah, so, I mean, some people will still go for those names. Na, maybe the people will go back to the department stores, kaya umaangat na si SSI, the mga restaurants, ganyan yung play. So that's like my very common sense view on how to think about recovery. Cebu Pacific, DNL for the restaurant reopening, but I don't tell you that it's a value play. Kasi it's more of a momentum. Why is it not a value play? Kasi the risk is, mamaya, you are assuming momentum na yung earnings niya. Yung pala, ay, nag-report ng earnings, palya-palya, puro losses, ang daming inflationary concerns, commodity spiking, kaya nag-margin pressure. They can always tell that, by the way. So, hindi ako naniniwala sa earnings growth. The market is expecting that the earnings will grow, but I think that is a hope expectation. Hindi yan sure ball na, ang ganda talaga ng numbers and so forth, no? Hindi ganon. Okay? So, thanks and I hope that you learned something today. And of course, tomorrow, come back and like our channel for some awesome 10x crypto updates. And then on Friday, don't forget our global market classes. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe the channel and add me on Faceless Trader. I'm Twitter. I am at Faceless Trader on Twitter. And that's it. Thank you very much again for watching Awesome 10x. Bye-bye.